Hello, friends and family members. Welcome to your seventh grade social studies year. My name is Noah Goodman. Hopefully, got a little preview of what the year has when you saw the movie trailer ahead of this. But I'm very, very excited to welcome you to the year. This is my 18th year teaching here at Harmon, 19th actually, if you count my student teaching. And really, our family is very, very happy to also be part of this community. My wife, Maria Goodman, is the principal over at Miller Elementary and the assistant principal at Layton. My son Cole is about to enter the third grade over there at Layton. And finally, 12 years in the making, I've been waiting for this moment. My daughter Amelia Goodman is also a seventh grader. So just as you guys are going through this as parents, I will also be going through some of this as a parent. So I may be sending emails to myself, asking myself questions. I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to play out yet, but we will wait and see. I've taught math in the past, and I've taught social studies in the past, and this year I'm very excited to be back at social studies full-time. I actually have 2 7th grade classes and 4 6th grade classes, and so it does provide a nice perspective because I certainly know where they're coming from, I know where they're going, and our social studies is just like that. It reads almost like a timeline where you might start something, or we started something in 6th grade, and kind of where 6th grade ends with the River Valley civilizations, we actually pick up, and our first unit of our year will be the ancient Greeks. Then we'll kind of carry through the Romans. We'll get into some stuff later on with the Middle Ages and then the Renaissance, and finally we actually end our year with the Age of Exploration. And what's amazing about our curriculum, and really it is awesome, and we ask throughout the year, anytime if you've ever traveled to any of these places or you have any firsthand experience with any of the things that we're talking about, please, by all means, share it with us. I think it's one of those things that you can do that brings social studies and brings history to life. It's one of the things that we encourage and try to do. And in fact, throughout the year, you're going to see there is a little bit of a theme where we do try to make the connection between the ancient world and certainly the modern world. Because anytime you can make those connections, it brings the history to life. And that's ultimately what we try to do. As you can already tell, this year is a little bit different to start. Certainly our classroom is going to look a little bit different. We have some of our friends learning online and at home. And I'd be remiss to say if I didn't mention, I am also one of those people starting the year at home. I'm sure you've seen by now the email talking about some of the teachers that were quarantined. Unfortunately, I'm in that mix. Good news is, however, I don't have any symptoms or no signs, and so if all goes well, I should be back in about a week or so, and really trying to get back to the year as it could have been, or as it should have been, I should say. But either way, I'm looking forward to this and getting into it. As you guys will see, throughout the year in 7th grade, maybe even a little bit different than 6th grade, we do ask them to be a little bit more independent with their learning. We're not going to necessarily hold hands as much as some of the 6th grade does, but we do ask that the kids do a little bit more independent. If they're struggling with something, we always encourage them in 7th grade to actually send the email for themselves rather than have the folks at home do it for them. Also throughout the year in 7th grade, and I think this year you'll see a lot more project-based assessments. Sometimes we want to get away from a little bit more of the traditional testing and really allow the kids to show us their information rather than just retell it to us. Because we always feel that if they can show it to us, it's going to provide for a little bit deeper understanding of the knowledge itself. We may even have to do some sort of virtual learning, some sort of simulations, where they'll actually be taking the role of some of the different pieces and parts throughout the year as best we can. We feel as 7th graders is kind of one of their last times to do this. There is no textbook this year, which is wonderful. All of our resources we do put online. So the Google Classroom is always going to be your number one first resource to go to. At this point, all of your kids have had access to it, and so they should all be able to access it. So if they say, I can't get into it, not true. At this point, they know how to get there. In addition to that, we've posted some different things as materials. All of our contact information is on there as well. I would say a big thing with 7th grade is that those open lines of communication. If you see that you're getting kind of bogged down or something is a struggle, please send that email first, right? The earlier we can be with communication, I think it's going to make for a lot less anxiety and a lot less stress for the child first, but also you guys at home and myself as the teacher in the class. And so that early intervention on that, I think, is certainly key and is certainly paramount. And I guess the last thing I'll kind of leave us with, because I'm sure you guys are watching a lot of videos, is that this year more than any other year is going to be a lot of trial and error. We're going to try some things, some different technology. It may work great, and hopefully it does, but sometimes we get into something and realize that there might be something we didn't pick up on initially. And so the ability to adapt and overcome and sometimes go straight through is a wonderful life skill, and certainly we're going to be practicing that a lot this year with our circumstances as education looks a little bit different these days. But other than that, I want to leave you guys because I'm sure you have a lot more to go. But have a wonderful evening, and if you need anything, please feel free to communicate. And I will, I'm sure, hear from you, or if not, you'll hear from me in the future. Thank you very much. Have a great one.